All right, what's up, guys? It's DCK, DeFi Crypto King, or Joe, depending on who you ask. Basically, today I wanted to discuss, DeFi kingdoms, and in order to do that, I brought alongside us a good friend of mine, Voltaire, or he's becoming a good friend of mine, I should say. He will occasionally message me on certain topics or ask my opinion for things regarding mostly the Phantom ecosystem, but today we got a little treat for you guys with DeFi Kingdoms. Voltaire, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to represent the lay knowledge base for your shows.
Yes. Yeah, so basically, guys, we're gonna go through a very beginner level to maybe a little bit more of an intermediate / speculative version of what DeFi Kingdoms is. What they're working on releasing, why I'm personally very bullish on it. And then Voltaire will also just ask me some questions here and there. So Voltaire, where would you like us to start? You want to just go over a brief overview or what?
So, I mean, it's kind of up to you. I don't know how basic you want to get. I mean, you got to buy one token. I don't know if you want to get into that basic level of it, or if you just want to get into probably an overview is a good start for it and that kind of thing. And where do you think the project's going, that sort of deal.
Cool. Yeah. So those of you who don't know, DeFi Kingdoms is on the Harmony One blockchain. Harmony One is a layer one. So meaning it's basically like Ethereum or like Phantom, Binance Coin and more, right? A Polkadot, I guess, would be considered layer one. Just basically any kind of layer one you could think of. It's one of those. It's a lot smaller in size, and it's not very popular by any means, but it is a growing slowly but surely one. So DeFi Kingdoms is actually one of the first of its kind. It's half GameFi, half GameFi / metaverse, half DeFi application, hence the name DeFi in it, decentralized finance. And basically, what we've kind of come to the conclusion of is that it's the best of its kind. In fact, it's the first of its kind, for now at least. There are some other projects which I'll mention later, but let me see if I can share my screen real quick. One sec. Oops. Let me exit out of some tabs real quick. Okay, cool. Nope, it's not what I wanted to show.
Or you're going to show us a tomb chart or the 2 ohm chart?
No. Oh man, I'm not in 2 ohm right now. I'm chilling.
I saw you said that.
Yeah, and I mean what I say. All right, cool. Can you guys see my CoinGecko screen right here?
Yes.
Sweet. Yeah, so currently this is DeFi Kingdoms. Its actual token name is Jewel. And right now you can see it's down 7% and it's $8.68. That's the current token value. We'll hop on the website in a second here. But let's quickly look at so the max supply is like 500 million, which it's not too bad. And then the total supplies that's currently out is 335 million. And then the circulating supply is 65.7 million. So that's just something to keep in mind. I sometimes pay attention to this, but to be honest, it's not like my ultimate go-to.
And based on the price action, it's still a decent time to buy it, as I found anyway.
Yeah. So okay. This is actually when I found out about it, October. I said it's either October or November, but yeah, guys, basically this is the chart. It's a fairly new project still. October 2021 was when it launched. It is currently, as of today, February 10th, 2022. And obviously we're looking at logarithmic here. It's not in a bad spot if you're just looking at this. I'll actually pull up a deck screener and we can go over that in a sec here. Okay. And basically we can kind of look at what the price action is, why I think it's still a pretty good entry price for those who are interested in this project, and kind of go from there. Actually, let's do that right now. Let's do deck screener. All right. Okay, so as you can see, there's significant, or this chart is very interesting, right? We have it basically back in December, so December 6th. It was, at its lowest, $5.66. It pumped all the way to $22.59. And then it basically, starting January 13th, or I guess technically starting January 5th, just essentially like tanked down to about $6.38. So there's a factor for why this happened, which I'm going to go into. It's not because this is like a rug or a terrible project or what have you. Basically, there's a few different things that happened. So number one, obviously people are going to be taking profits at this insane price. And a lot of people don't know this, but if you're not in the DeFi Kingdoms project, but there was a lot of money that was locked up. And we'll go into that in a little bit down the road, but from participating earlier on in the liquidity pools that are offered on there. And so a lot of people, after hitting, 304%, which is essentially, I believe that's a 4x, kind of makes sense at that point to, and it's kind of makes sense at that point to freaking dump your jewel tokens and cash in, here and there. And even then, as you can see, for a bit, it did like kind of have some resistance here at $14.22, right? Mm-hmm. Soon after, people who were very bullish in the game started buying it. And then January 13 came. During this period of time, when we started to see this significant dip, it wasn't just people taking profits, it was a lot of fear going on because Harmony actually had a network issue. So something to keep in mind, and I'm pulling this up for a reason, because this is something important to look at, which a lot of people don't talk about in some of these YouTube videos and things, if you're ever researching or doing anything. But, Harmony blockchain, it has only 4 shards. This is not a great thing. I don't
know. Sorry, I don't know what that means exactly.
Yeah. I'll kind of explain that.
Okay.
Right here. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to get too technical with this. I'm sure I'm going to even butcher the explanation of a shard, but I'm going to try and keep it as simple and layman as possible. Basically, if you're familiar with validators from other layer 1 blockchains, validators are what keep the network secure, are also what help with transactions and things of that nature. So this is a very low amount of people keeping the network secure, very low number of, and I say people, but just to put in simpler terms, but there's so much in-depth research you would have to do to really understand this very technical side of blockchain. But this isn't really like a good sign if you're looking to do huge transactions, or if you're a developer looking to build your own decentralized app on, okay? Did that help, Voltaire?
Yeah, I get it now. Sort of, yeah.
Cool. So yeah, this is just something I was aware of when I first got into Harmony, let alone DeFi Kingdoms. And because of that, there was an outage, or, again, in crypto, they use the term hack very loosely. For a lot of people, hack can be, or for a lot of times, hack can mean one of the following things. One, the smart contract or the code is really bad, and someone was able to figure out a glitch to the code and basically extract money without having to necessarily put more money in. That's a very common hack. The second one is someone legitimately got hacked via DDoSing. So basically just like shoving so much traffic to a site. I'm using traditional hacking explanation, even though I'm not a hacker myself or that technical, but basically they send so much traffic that it eventually like shuts the network down, and in doing so, the firewall comes down, so nothing is secure, right? The other thing is sometimes they'll say like hack if there is, for example, let's just say DeFi, let's just say on DeFi Kingdoms, right? You can buy the coin straight from here. But let's just say also, if you're familiar with a decentralized exchange like Uniswap or Sushi Swap, if you go on there and for some reason Sushi Swap's contracts for the Jewel token has an issue with it, and you bought yours off of Sushi Swap instead of DeFi Kingdoms, if someone were to ever figure that out and want to, like a bad actor essentially, want to steal money from Sushi Swap, specifically the Jewel or DeFi Kingdoms pool of liquid tokens, they will basically take it and in an order of an effort, or in it, oh my God, in an effort to basically counteract those bad actors, Sushi Swap will make the value of that token worth zero, or even sometimes DeFi Kingdoms, the project itself. I think most of the time that's what happens. So that way, like the tokens that they try to trade, like the bad actors who stole all the tokens that they try to trade, becomes worthless. But unfortunately, if you're a holder of that token as well, and you got it from Sushi Swap, regardless, yours is also essentially worthless. Basically, a good example of this, if you did want to read more in depth, again, I'm not too technical or knowledgeable on that specific method, but a similar thing happened with Vulcan Forge. Its call sign, I believe, is PYR. And again, I know it's going a little off topic, but this is also a GameFi project. So as you can see, they recently had to fix things. So it says it recently has been redeployed on Ethereum and Polygon. That's super interesting. But yeah, Vulcan Forge had a similar situation if we're looking at the chart, which bam, this is due to a hack on Uniswap, I believe. Could be wrong, but we're not going to be talking too much about that. So yeah, anyways, there was, and obviously this is the Jewel chart. This isn't the Harmony One chart, but if you actually take a look at Harmony One, it actually doesn't look too bad on here, but I believe it was right here. Yeah, so July, or sorry, not January, January, like basically around there, kind of same time, 12th, 13th, reached its peak and then dipped. In the grand scheme of things, doesn't look so significant, but that's pretty significant. And there's a lot more price movement in Jewel, so that's something to keep in mind too. But anyway, so it dipped down, and at first I was a little concerned. I was someone who wanted to invest in Vulcan Forge, but that went away. And when DeFi Kingdoms dropped this low, I was a little concerned that the developers were going to stop building the project due to this massive dump. That's a lot of funds that they've lost in a matter of, if you really look at it, I believe this is just in a matter of days. So yeah, basically it's about 9 days. 9 days of, let's see how much of a dip. Essentially 67%. And remember, this is not like, this is only the market cap for it right now is only 569 million. Meanwhile, the liquidity is 196 million. So again, those are things to just keep in mind. This is obviously a lower size project. But anyways, I saw a buying opportunity after going through the discords, which we'll go over in a bit here. And knew that, and because I'd been following this project and I knew that this was something that I really wanted to get into, I decided to buy in right around here. I don't remember the exact date, but it was definitely, I didn't know it was officially the bottom, but I saw that I call this the rainbow. You'll hear me say this a lot. This is not like a technical term. This is what I just made up. After I see a rainbow for a solid project, I'll be like, hey, this is even if it goes lower, I'm going to start putting 40% of my position. Sometimes I'll ape in. People know me as an ape. But yeah, most of the time I'll put some skin in the game and then DCA if I see it dip a little lower, or depending on how I'm feeling about the project. If I'm very bullish on it, I'll just go all in, which I do not recommend. I've gotten screwed sometimes, but this one worked out. So I'm actually currently up on this, even though we're seeing that the past couple of days. So yes, or today and technically, or yesterday and technically today, the two candles are both in the red,
Mm.
but that's enough for the chart. Voltaire, did all that make sense so far?
Yeah, I kind of bought in after that too. Well, yeah, after we talked last time. So yeah, I was in that high sevens or whatever range. So yeah.
Cool.
Mhm.
Good. Awesome. Yeah, so let's kind of go through the site real quick. And I'm not going to get too crazy in depth in it. But if there is something that draws your attention, feel free to interrupt me, okay?
Mm.
Sweet.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is DeFi Kingdoms. It literally says a DeFi, a decentralized finance game built on the blockchain, designed with usable NFTs. This is actually really true. In my opinion, for a game, they have one of the best NFTs like structures in place to be the most profitable for DeFi Kingdoms ecosystem. And I'll go into that as well. You click start playing because it literally will take you straight to the app. And we'll go into that a little bit later. But yeah, there's a little video playing here. Okay, cool. Yeah, Jewel token is built and traded on the Harmony One platform using the Uniswap V2 protocol. You want to know what that means? Don't ask me. I have no idea, to be honest. It's secure, fast, and with extremely low trading fees. You'll be earning rewards in no time. I can attest to this extremely low trading fees.
Yeah.
It is literally like sub pennies. I think 40% of a penny or something like that.
Super cheap.
Yeah. And then in terms of it being secure and fast, we talked about this earlier, guys. Like, again, be mindful. There's only 4 shards, so really only 4 validators. I'm going to use that term validators just to make it easy. There's only 4 validators really keeping the network secure right now. And then fast, most of the time, I haven't had an issue where it's been slow, but I have had friends who have said that, hey, my transaction has been like going for like an hour or 2.
Oh, wow.
But I've yet to experience that. So I wonder if it's a network issue on their end or like an internet thing, but who knows? And then you'll be earning rewards in no time. I can attest to this. As long as you're not putting in like chump change and you're actually putting in like, you know, a decent amount, maybe like $250 and up, you'll start seeing rewards being earned in no time. Okay, game features, swap. So this is pretty cool. And the pool. So basically the swap and is pretty unique. So if you guys are familiar with Spooky Swap on Phantom or Uniswap on Ethereum, well, I guess Uniswap's technically more, but primarily Ethereum, you'll notice that you can like, it's basically like your traditional decentralized exchange swap, which again, I'll go over that in a bit. Just so you know, Benjamin, we're going to do questions probably closer to the end. Or you can write something in the chat if it's something I can easily answer, kind of go from there.
This isn't a question. It was just a quick comment.
Cool. Go ahead.
So have you noticed that they're using more than one shard now for transactions? Because last time I checked, they were basically only using 1 shard for transactions. So technically they have 4 or maybe 5 if you count layers, if you count 0, but I think it's only 4. But I had thought that they were just using shard 0 for transactions, and then I'm not quite sure what the other 3 were being used for.
Yeah. I actually have no idea in terms of like how many shards they're utilizing, but that is a good thing to look into, especially if you're worried about the security and the transaction speed and congestivity of the network as a whole. Thanks for bringing that up, man.
That was it.
Cool. Yeah, so then there's also obviously a pool, you know, which is pretty standard within a decentralized exchange again, you know, where you can provide a liquidity token. There's a garden. You'll notice that a lot of these terminologies that they're going to start using is more game terminology. So like things like the garden, that's very specific to DeFi Kingdoms app as a whole. So basically add liquidity in the garden. So you add your LP tokens to the garden and you can unlock Jewel token rewards. Jeweler, earn staking bonuses in the Jeweler. We'll go over that. Heroes, this is the NFTs. So you can basically use heroes to play games, do quests, summon more heroes and more. There's land. This actually has started to roll out a little bit where people have purchased land. It's crazy expensive. So if you are thinking about doing it, just know you might be paying an arm and a leg. We'll go over, like, just for fun, look at one of the available properties that is available. Buildings, that's something that is yet to come out. So I have no idea what exactly that's going to look like. I mean, I kind of have some speculative ideas, but that's about it. And then equipment, this is going to be pretty cool. So this is, again, part of the gaming side of things. So is the buildings, but I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of financial incentive model for this. I'm sure the same thing would apply to land, but essentially heroes, land, and buildings, I'm going to assume these are all NFTs. Equipment, probably the same. I know heroes are NFTs, but equipment, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. This is the roadmap essentially that we're looking at right here. I'm not going to go too in detail to it, but they've accomplished these ones with a check so far, which is pretty impressive. And they're currently in the kingdoms section. So this is something to keep in mind. And see, the buildings aren't even done, nor is the equipment or battle system. This is all stuff that is being built in the works. And yeah, actually, I'll speak to this real quick, but give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to turn on the light because it's getting dark in here. All right, can you guys see me okay?
Yeah, it looks fine.
Sweet. All right, let me turn this on. Cool. Okay, yeah, so there's something I wanted to talk about, and this is very important when you're looking at any metaverse and GameFi or gaming related project. And that's the fact that a lot of these will have roadmaps, and they will, and I say this all the time to people who ask me about any gaming projects, I say, be prepared, because oftentimes they'll overpromise and underdeliver. We see that, again, I'm very biased and I'm very, like, shrewd with this. So totally up to your perspective, but in my perspective, even big tier projects like Sandbox Games, not Sandbox Games, but Sandbox, one of the top tier metaverse GameFi plays, mostly more metaverse style, but that's still in beta. You know, that hasn't even officially launched. Sure, there's people who have played the beta versions of it, but, like, take that with a grain of salt, right? Other examples are Illuvium. Illuvium's not even officially out yet. Who knows when it'll be out? We speculate and we keep speculating. And these are really both two solid projects. Whether you like them personally or not is a whole other debate, but it is something to keep in mind. So again, I kind of go back and say, like, there's a lot of speculation that occurs within the GameFi metaverse space, and very few projects actually survive to complete their roadmap, let alone do most projects actually complete their roadmap, even if they do successfully launch.
And there's always delays, right?
There's always delays, and you have to be okay with that, because that's what games are like. I'm going to give you an example that is not related to crypto. There was a game I was amazingly, like, really excited for. It was Cyberpunk 2077. And I usually don't play games that much nowadays, but I was just very excited for that game because they had been talking about this for years, and it had been in the works for years. And then I remember when it finally was available for, like, pre-order, I went to go pre-order it, and they said, okay, when is the game coming out? And they said, oh yeah, in like 4 or 5 months, which is totally normal or whatever. And then it ended up being an additional 2 years. And then when it did launch, yeah, it was ridiculous. And then when it did launch, it was super unfortunate. Cyberbug, yeah, that's exactly what it is. When it did launch, it was very disappointing. There's a lot of glitches to it. And ultimately, I enjoy the game, but looking back, I would have not spent the money to get that game. So that's something that happens pretty frequently within the gaming space. It's very expensive to design games, especially with high quality graphics. Illuvium's kind of in that boat, in my opinion. It has one of the best graphics for any crypto metaverse game that you'll see out there. which is probably a big factor in why they haven't fully released yet. There's probably a lot of buggy, glitchy work to do, not to do, to get over in order to keep pushing through. But kind of going back into that, so like I said, whenever you're investing in any of these games, gaming projects, GameFi, Metaverse, just be careful and kind of have that perspective. Yeah, kind of have that perspective that it could not rug because people are sketch who are behind the project. You can have like legitimate people behind the project, but it just never comes to fruition because we are very limited, especially within the blockchain side of things, with the capabilities that are required in order to do a decentralized game, if that makes sense. Yeah, as far as Phelan here, he says ILV gameplay, so Illuvium gameplay has a long way to go in my opinion. Graphics seem decent. I actually think in terms, like you're right, in terms of like normal gaming, absolutely graphics are decent. But I would say like in terms of crypto gaming, definitely the best graphics, at least from the preview that I've seen, definitely the best graphics out there. But kind of going back into this, so this is the reason I brought that up is because I've been really impressed with DeFi Kingdoms, their developing team, their developers, their whole team. They've been pretty active, and you know, you kind of this is what I've noticed within this space, this specific section of crypto. A lot of these projects still have two types of projects. One that does a lot of community, but very little development, and then one that does a lot of development, but not very much community. And what I mean by that is like you'll either have developers who are working on stuff and they're just quiet and not really announcing something. So eventually the community starts to be like, well, did we get rugged? You know, they'll sell the token, they'll exit out the project, and then the project just never happens because of lack of funding. Or you'll have the complete opposite, like people are just getting shilled on hype and the community is being maintained until the community finally decides, hey, like it's great that they're keeping us updated and stuff, but it seems like after 3 years they have, you know, I'm saying 3 years as an example, but it seems like they haven't really done anything. DeFi Kingdoms is one of the few projects that I can say within its space that has successfully done a good job of maintaining maintaining the community, but also building on it and also keeping people up to date on what's being released, what's being worked on, and actually showing examples, not just through screenshots or these, you know, 3D designed images, but actually allowing people to access the betas without having to buy these ridiculous NFTs like you'll see for Sandbox. Anyways, that's important to address. You can read the white paper. I won't really go to, do you want me to read into the white paper, Voltaire, or no?
Maybe not. Maybe we could only as appropriate. I don't think we really need to get into that, right?
Yeah, it's not super important.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so with that, let's quickly hop into the game real quick. Let's see. My computer does not like this. So yeah, so this is one of my accounts for this game. You can see like Jewel, gold, inventory, locked balances, total balances, etc. And this is, like I said, this is literally a game, but it's kind of funny because this is a decentralized app. This is a DeFi app. And just with some gaming components. Earlier I mentioned about land. So these numbers and stuff are land, and this one with a jewel token symbol above it means it's for sale. So look at this. This is a level 1 land. I have no idea. So this is someone selling it. I have no idea how much or like what I'm getting from this land, but we'll see how much it costs right now. Kind of nervous.
150 grand, something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's like 300,000. Oh no, actually you're closer. 100 and
okay.
Wait, I lied. It's 1.7 million.
Oh geez.
Look at that. So it's like there's three, yeah, $1,734,000 for this random plot of land that I have no idea I mean, I have ideas of what the use case might be for it, but I have no idea if this is actually even a good plot of land or not. Let's see. How much is this? Okay, this one was higher. Maybe this is actually a more realistic priced one.
All right. Yeah.
Let's see here. Look Okay, this one is $425,000.
There you go. Don't go buy a condo or anything. Go ahead and buy a plot of land here.
Yeah. Why would you buy real property nowadays? Yeah, so this is crazy, guys. This is why I said like this is a whales game, or not even a whales game. I'd say this is like a multi-millionaire. I mean, you have to be more than anyways. Yeah, that's crazy. So that's
But
pretty cool.
those are people who got it cheap somehow, and they're just putting it up for, like, some of the people who got Magic Cats and then listed them for 10,000 Phantom or something like that after they got
Yeah,
them.
but I think when these came out, I think even like because the land sale was pretty recently, and I'm pretty confident that they didn't get it. I mean, they're for sure selling it at an enormously higher rate and they got it, but I'm pretty sure they at least paid like what you mentioned before, like or anywhere from like 30,000 to like 100 and 50K, depending on the land.
Oh, wow.
So that's something to keep in mind. Maybe the 150K is a little bit of a stretch. Might have been like more close to 100, but
It's still bananas. God.
yeah, but you got to remember. So like I mentioned before, when this project first came out, there was a lot of incentives and stuff in place. So people, got some crazy airdrops in terms of like jewel tokens.
Yeah.
A lot of the NFTs that they released, which I won't go too much in detail about because I'm not really into the gaming side of this as much. I'm more in the financier kind of side of things.
Mhm.
But yeah, man, they made tons of money. I knew a guy who took who turned $250 into like 40K,
Good God.
Yeah, and he did not add a single dollar more into it. This is just price appreciation, airdrops, getting a Gen 0 hero, and yeah, more.
Wow.
But kind of going into this, like I said, this is a gaming. This is literally like this kind of reminds me of Final Fantasy almost, or like yeah, Final Fantasy I would say is more accurate, like the more traditional Final Fantasy. You have the castle, which if we click on it, this is not really going to be relevant to most people unless you're playing the game. Yeah. So this is actually where you buy land. Yeah. See. So let's see. Oh my gosh.
There you go.
I have no idea. Anyways, this is super interesting. Going back to the world map, and you don't have to look at it through the world map to do this stuff. You can click on the menu as well, which is faster. But primarily, like aside from this, so tavern, you would go to get heroes. So like you would buy heroes on that. This is like essentially an NFT marketplace, which is pretty cool. So like buy heroes or sell heroes. So this is where like the DeFi app that I was telling you guys about comes into play. But the NFTs are, you can immediately have utility to it in the game, right?
Yeah.
So this is super cool. And here's something to keep in mind, guys. Very interesting about this project is it took different components of crypto and added them all to like this game. So like I said, the tavern's the NFT marketplace, essentially. The marketplace is the decentralized exchange, which we'll go into there in a bit. The bank is staking, where you would stake or lock up tokens. I don't remember too much about the alchemist thing. I think that's like buying items for the game. That's more of the gaming side. I believe the meditation circle is either the meditation circle. Let me see. Yeah. So this is actually where you would do minting, I believe. I could be wrong. Let's make sure. Yeah. Yeah. So you'd add your hero. It's not minting. It's boosting. Sorry, it's boosting your hero. So it's like improving your NFT. Think about, to put it in practical perspective, think about Bored Ape Yacht Club and how if you bought mutant serum or radium, whatever it's called, something serum, you can turn your Bored Ape into a mutant ape, and then your original Bored Ape is no longer available. So that's what you kind of got to think with the alchemist or the meditation circle. Professions, that's pretty new to me. I'm not going to go too much into this, but this is a gaming side of things, I believe, where you can.
My understanding, correct me if I'm, my understanding is if you have a hero, they might have a profession that you can somehow use to make money. I don't know anything more than that about it. Yes,
that's very true. So you can have one of these professions, which each have different value within the game, and if you have the right hero for it, you can participate in quests. and the quest will earn you Jewel tokens. So again, this is more the gaming side of things, but again, you're technically making money from it if you're pretty, into playing the video game. The dock is super interesting. So a lot of people think this is a gaming thing, but it actually is a bridge. So what I mean by bridge is like you can bridge tokens from Harmony over to like, either through multi-chain or through a Harmony bridge or through Terra's bridge. So this, like, I'll give you an example. Like it'll take me literally to Terra's bridge. Bam. Or if I'm going to Harmony bridge, literally take me straight to the site. But it's pretty cool because like it provides you with the actual legit link and stuff like that, and which is really safe in my opinion, because I don't know, I can't tell you how many people I know who, entered in the wrong URL and got screwed.
Yeah.
But this is going to be super important for so some fun fact about DeFi Kingdoms. It's going to be launching a cross-chain version of their game on Avalanche. So very, very interesting, very unique. And it's going to be one of the first projects to actually, and to my knowledge, to successfully do this. It hasn't released yet though, so it's not a success yet, but I'm pretty confident that the developers are on top of things. But this is super important because in order to bridge any of your tokens or assets, or even, this is very interesting, even your NFTs are going to apparently be able to be bridged, allegedly, as of right now, allegedly, using the doc master, and it's going to bridge over to Avalanche. So that's going to be super interesting. But that's again where I'm saying like everything's all in one place, which is super unique, especially if you're like familiar with like how DeFi works. And then the portal, I believe, yeah, this is where you mint new heroes. So instead of having to go to a website titled defykingdoms.com/heroes, it takes you to this, within the game. So it's very, very unique. They've literally created what I call a perfect, it's an Ouroboros. I like to call it the Ouroboros ecosystem. I've coined that myself. If you know what an Ouroboros is, it's basically like a complete circle. Sometimes it'll show a snake that's biting its own tail. So, yeah. And then
I know the image. I never knew that was what it was called, but okay.
Oh yeah. It's I think either Druid or Greek mythology, which is ironic because they have Druids here. Okay. So this is super important. This is the marketplace right here. This is literally a swapping exchange. I'm just going to put this as an example. You can exchange one for Aave if you wanted to, or whatever token that they have available. You'd enter the amount. I'm just making up a number, and then bam, it'll tell you what the price impact is, all that stuff. Not gonna get too technical. The vendor, so this is part of the gaming component. Like if you did want to buy certain items and you're playing the game, this is super important. And you're actually buying with gold. So I believe gold can only be earned through quests and stuff. But don't quote me on that, because again, I'm not too interested in the gaming side. And then this is important too, liquidity pools. So as you can see, I currently have a liquidity pool in here, but literally what you would do is click create pool and then kind of go from there. I currently have only a little bit of one left, which is probably like less than $5 or something. But that's super interesting. And then I've actually never really messed around with buying seeds. Let's see, when you create a liquidity seed, you receive pool tokens representing your position. Interesting. Yeah, so I'm not familiar actually. I need to do more research on the seeds part of it. So that would be a little bit of homework for me. One sec.
And that's the base level of the game is getting into the LP pool. If you're not actually playing it, right? That's learning that, and that's the way to make some money off of it unless you want to get into it later, into the more in-depth part.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm basically showing you the things that I would usually do. So I'm primarily in here in the marketplace. I'm trading, whenever, if I'm wanting to add more tokens, which actually before this, I added, I officially liquidated all my Luna. That's how bullish I am in this project.
Oh, wow.
And I converted it over to like 50%, or actually I converted it all to Jewel. And I'll discuss why I did that in a second here. But But this is also what I use to do the 50-50 split between one and Joule. And just so you guys know, for those of you who aren't familiar, you have to have one token left over. That's why I still have some in order to pay for gas fees on here. Super cheap though. But I like to have more tokens than necessary. So I guess I'll go before I even go into like providing a liquidity pool and entering into one of the farms, which is in the garden section. Let's talk about the bank. This is actually another component that I'm currently focusing heavily on. And this is primarily any new source of money that I want to throw into this game. I'm coming here and there's two different options. So there's the manager, which I do not recommend putting any freaking Joule tokens in here. I would say don't even bother because you're going to lock your Joule in and you want your money to be liquid. But this is actually what I'm doing. I'm going to the teller and I'm depositing Joule into here. And basically, they give you X Joule in return. And by getting X Joule is worth a specific amount of Joule. And essentially what it's doing is, let's see how to explain it. The reason I'm putting—
it's like Expo and stuff, right?
Yeah, kind of, except you can't stake the X Joule anywhere, you know? I guess to put it this way, so like the reason I'm even doing this isn't because the APRs is incredible or anything like that. Man, DFK Watcher, there you go, cool. So I'll show you guys this real quick. This is super important. If it loads, one sec, I might have to find it. Copy. There it is. Okay. Actually, I'm going to save that. Okay, so this is the bank APR. So for staking it, obviously they're going to incentivize you, right? So you make 20% APR in it. It's not amazing. I realize that. But there's something you need to know about DeFi Kingdoms. Right now, I think up until February 14th, if you stake any Joule tokens into the bank, which that's another reason why I don't have that much in here. But basically, because I just figured this out because I haven't been on top of the information as much as I would like to. But basically, if you stake Joule tokens in here, you qualify for the airdrop that they're doing. And I believe it's 40% of your Joule that you stake in here will be converted to, I think for every Joule, sorry, don't quote me on this exactly, but I think for every Joule you get like 4.2 crystal tokens. And then also you get an additional like 2.4 Joule tokens, but that's going to be airdropped to you for Avalanche, the Avalanche version of this game. So that's the reason why I'm like focusing heavily on this, and I'll probably be putting more and more money in the next.
Oh, I thought that was over. So you can still take advantage of that.
So they extended it, which is what I'll discuss in the Discord thing. So this is something to keep in mind. And actually, if you're just getting into this, I would say, in terms of earning interest on your money, this is like not very valuable. But if you're just getting into this and you like to participate in the airdrop and you want to do it for the remainder of these 4 days left, don't get into the gardens because that's not going to, I mean, the gardens incentivize you, of course, but that's not going to make you qualify for the airdrop, just so you know. So I qualify for the airdrop because I've been in the gardens since they had that running, which was last month. But where your money is best put, again, if you want to qualify for the airdrop, is in the bank, okay? And so that's something to keep in mind right here. There's 282% here. There's 322. There's a bunch of different pools you can participate in the gardens, of course, but again, how much time do you allocate on your average system such play you are initially interested in? After it hooks you, how much more time do it? Phelan, that's a good question. Maybe you can ask me in the Q&A later because I'll have a few questions in reference to that because I think I might be understanding it wrong. But as you can see, there's like some, if you're very bullish on Matic, you can bridge your Matic over and do one of these plays and get 281%. Personally, I recommend the Joule one That's just going to be like the one that runs more tanded. And then there's Jewel Phantom. And I really don't have like I don't have like anywhere near a huge percentage of my portfolio in this game, even though I'm bullish on it. Basically, I'm just kind of seeing like how it goes, how it plays out. And another thing is I'm personally saving up some dry powder that I'm currently investing in on the Phantom network in order to have money ready to quickly shove over to Avalanche once their Avalanche version drops, because that's basically where my money is going to best be spent at this point, in my opinion. But look, they even have a Jewel Avalanche one if you wanted to do that. Again, the thing about these LPs, which differs from the bank, is there's impermanent loss. Basically means that for those of you who are newer to crypto or whatever, which I hope you understand this concept before getting into this, but there's a risk associated with entering in a pool or a Jewel/AVAX farm. Yes, it's offering you 237%, but you have impermanent loss because if the price of AVAX token increases in value, it'll rebalance. So basically, it'll decrease the amount of AVAX tokens you have and increase the amount of Jewel tokens you have in order to rebalance on a scale to perfectly be weighed out. So it's always going to be 50% of the value. So if that's 5 grand of Jewel, and then 5 grand of AVAX, even if AVAX increases in value, you're not going to have more AVAX tokens or the same AVAX tokens appreciating. It'll be decreased back to that back to the even amount. So that's something to keep in mind. Something that Phelan actually brought up in the chat, which is super important to keep in mind, is it's true AVAX. This is actually why I've always like not been a fan of AVAX, but it's known to be like the rug pool central. There's so many crappy, or not crappy, they're actually really solid projects, but they end up being rug pools, unfortunately, that is on there. But I'm not super worried about this specific project. So there's also something that needs to be addressed here too, or I said. So a big reason why the developers of this project is now shifting over to building a cross-chain version of their game on a bigger chain like Avalanche is specifically because Avalanche has a lot more users, has a lot more exposure, and their hopes is they'll be able to lure in more players into their ecosystem. Because the thing about Harmony is not everybody likes Harmony 1, like I mentioned earlier. Harmony 1 has not that many users in general in comparison to the other bigger layer ones, like even Phantom has, which Phantom is not, the number 1 on that list of layer ones, but it's up there in terms of TVL, in terms of users, and just adoption as a whole. So their goal, in my opinion, from like everything that I've been learning, is to try and gain more players, thus causing more money to flow through their game, thus causing like their Ouroboros ecosystem to continuously grow. Yeah, so that's kind of their and they're smart too. So here's the thing, I'm gonna play devil's advocate, and when it comes to Phantoms, everybody knows I'm a big Phantom guy. But there's an issue I see with Phantom that a lot of people don't talk about, and that's that there's only 55 or maybe 56 validators. Again, going back to what we talked about earlier, that's the amount of people keeping the network secure, as well as helping with transactions going through and making sure that everything goes smoothly. So you'll notice that at times when Phantom's network is congested, there you go. Basically, like transactions will take forever, or you're gonna have to be paying some outrageous gas fees. And when I say outrageous for Phantom, I think at one point I paid $5 actually to get a transaction to go through.
Very high for Phantom. Yeah.
It's very high for Phantom. That reminded me of the early Ethereum days. So that's something to keep in mind. And the reason why Phantom has actually been, like the Phantom Foundation has been working on improving this. I know this isn't about Phantom, but this is important and it relates to this. But Phantom Foundation has recently done a voting and has decreased the entry price for someone who's wanting to create a validator node. So it went from, I think, $5 million to $500,000, which that's pretty significant. But it's not low enough to where you have someone who has a crappy computer system that they're operating their node off of, which again, it's more technical. I won't go too much into it, but it's something to keep in mind. Meanwhile, Avalanche has, I'm not sure of the number myself, but I remember looking at a chart. Avalanche is pretty up there in terms of like having validator nodes and stuff. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is pretty low, considering the 10x. Yeah. I'm not gonna get too much into that. We could talk about that in the Q&A. But Avalanche is a lot more secure, and has a lot more validators, and basically its network is, I would say Avalanche is not that fast. I'm actually like pretty surprised how slow it is, but it's very strategically built, and it is still cheap. It's not cheaper than Phantom or definitely not cheaper than Harmony, but it's cheaper than like Ethereum or some other network. So that's basically, like, from my understanding of the reasons why they built on Avalanche over Phantom, or maybe even Chronos, or some other platform, or some other layer one, right? So anyways,
Before
yeah.
you leave the garden though, or you still, I thought, were you leaving? Or
No, go ahead.
So can you talk about how the rewards are on the LP farms? Because I'm only in the one and Jewel farm LP. The rewards are staggered as to for the lockup, right?
Yeah, so that's actually a good question. So again, this is just one of my accounts for this. I have a few of them because I want to try and get multiple airdrops, which that's actually a good strategy if you have the capacity to manage multiple wallets. So there's something to keep in mind here. It's offering you a huge APR, yes, but it comes at a cost, okay? Basically, they've created this system where 50%, or actually I think it's 53 right now, 53% of your rewards that you generate from your LP farm, from your pool, from the seed box area, gets locked up. And essentially, like, it'll decrease over time. So as you can see right here, it says the current locking rate is 53% until block. I'm not gonna read that number. Approximately 4.07 days at 2 seconds per block. When it will change to 51%. So right now it's 53. Eventually, I don't know how many days it's gonna be. I'm assuming maybe it's 4 days and 2 seconds. I don't know. I have no idea. But basically, over time, this locking percentage of your tokens are going to be like decreasing in the amount that it locks. So going back to the chart, remember when I was telling you guys, like, when this day came, I wouldn't be surprised. Something to keep in mind is when people are entering into these farms, a lot of them, like, this was higher before. This is actually a really smart mechanism on DeFi Kingdom's part. It was an effort for them to not get rubbed by the greedy users. So this is actually really clever. And as much as this pisses me off as someone who values, like, having my rewards liquid, it actually it incentivizes me to be more strategic, and more selective about, like, okay, is this money that I'm okay leaving? Not that you can't take your LP out of the garden, you can, but like, if you accrued a crap ton of rewards here, and this is another reason why I've also spread out my risk into different, or my accounts into different wallets for this. You basically get stuck with a decent chunk of, potentially a decent chunk of Jewel. But basically, this is another reason why we started to see this huge dip right here. So like you saw previously, there's probably like a small amount that unlocked right here, but it only was 22% decrease. And then I'm going to safely assume that this was when a lot of people realized, oh crap, I'm getting a bigger chunk of my rewards unlocked. So like I said, right now it's 53%. I think when I originally got into this, it was like 58, 57. I could be wrong, don't quote me on it. But yeah, this is super, super important. You can claim now, so that's something to keep in mind, but only the unlocked portion. So again, there's whatever 53 minus 100 is, that's the percentage that is unlocked at all times. I'm not going to claim it right now because I like to let it just like accrue. And then also another strategy that I do that I'm utilizing. Now, keep in mind, the reason I'm doing this is simply because I've been in this pool for a while now, specifically on this account. But what I'll do is, like, when this gets to a juicy amount enough for me, I'll claim them, and then I will go to the bank, go to the teller, and then deposit. So this is all that I've deposited so far from this specific MetaMask. Okay, cool. Was there another question you had regarding this?
Yeah,
No?
it was the harvesting strategies as far as claiming rewards, because I've seen stuff online where people like say do it once a week, or wait for certain epochs to end or something like that. So, but
Yeah.
you can do it as simply as like, I'm waiting for there to be a decent chunk so I can pull it out and put it in the bank, right?
Yeah, so actually it's a good thing you brought it up, because I almost forgot to bring this up. You actually get dinged for pulling out your rewards sooner than later. This is actually something you guys have to keep in mind. I'm not sure. Let's see, lock drills remain full to the end. I'm not sure. Maybe in the documentation it'll say something.
Yeah, I think it's something like there's a big unlock in July.
Well, I wasn't even going to refer to that, but yes, there is
okay.
like 100%. Eventually, like that number is going to go down for everyone, not just me.
Okay. All right.
And rewards will fully be unlocked. Period. By that time, I'm going to safely assume that the Avalanche version of their game is going to be done, because it's supposed to be launched this quarter. So we still have to the end of March. But basically, like I was just actually reading up on this today, because this is stuff that sometimes slips my mind. But because I already have that mindset of like, oh, I'm not going to claim this until it gets to a good amount of Jewel. I've never had this issue, but I've talked to some people, and I know people who put like 6 figures into this project alone, which to me, I'm not that bullish on it.
Yeah.
But I am bullish on the project, and still, they've told me this. Sorry, that's what I was getting to. So they told me that they tried to remove their rewards within an hour, because they accumulated so much from the 285% or whatever it is. And I was like, wow, that's awesome. But basically they told me that they got hit with higher transaction fees. So that's the issue here with the LP pools. But again, like if you're just entering into this and you want to qualify for the airdrop, just go in this sucker. So and this is the cool part too. So when you withdraw, and I just learned this today, actually, when you withdraw, I'm not going to, but when you withdraw your X Jewel from here, you don't get hit with those fees. You don't get penalized.
Okay.
Not saying you don't have to submit a Harmony 1 transaction on your MetaMask. No, of course that, but I'm just talking about like, if you notice anything with any DeFi app, you'll get charged either a depositing, withdrawal, or withdrawal fee, from the app that you're using. So,
yeah.
Anything else with this?
So yeah, I guess. And so this is, I'm going to get some more Jewel just to put in the teller. I thought I missed the airdrop part, but it's just kind of like, don't withdraw the rewards, the unlocked rewards as often as you might like to. Just try to hold out a little bit, right?
Yeah, exactly. So a lot of people, okay. I've said this in previous videos that I've done. I've said this in previous conversations I've had with people. Actually, this, Voltaire. I said this last time. I said I'm a skeptical ape, and usually I don't like my money to be locked up, or I like to be able to like immediately remove liquidity and just go from there in a moment's notice. So again, without like, not financial advice, like do your own research, right? But this is a pretty safe protocol. This is a pretty safe like app, in my opinion. Like I'm not worried about being like, well, tomorrow I might be completely gone, and again, I'm banking on the fact that this is at a bottom right now, and like, even though this is higher up right now, it's still not that big of or like that dramatic. Like if it was up here, I would say, guys, just wait for a dip, but this is still like close enough to the bottom to where I can feel pretty confident in saying like, or I can feel pretty good being like, hey guys, this is not a bad entry point. This is not like, I've talked about this before. Don't buy tops. How do you know when tops are? When this is happening. That's not happening here right now, which that's great. So, man, what was I trying to get with that?
As far as collecting rewards and
so
leaving it on there.
So again, like just be pretty chill about it. You know, check out the rewards at another time.
Mhm.
You know, and kind of go from there. Did you say
Okay.
times? No, Phelan, I was talking about with crap coins, meme coins. When it comes to meme coins, I make a joke. I say I'm the top signal. So if I buy a meme coin, it's your time to get out, or it's your time not to buy. Or actually it's your time that a dip's gonna come. Because that's what happened. I'm negative 40% right now currently on that meme coin. Yeah, I'm not pulling out though. I'm too prideful, I think. Just kidding. Totally kidding. It's just not worth it. It's on Ethereum. Anyways.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I feel pretty confident about leaving my unlocked balance on here for a bit. And like, especially because like, again, this account that I have right here, this MetaMask is such a small amount that it's just really not worth, you know, trying to do the auto compounding, or it's not even auto compounding technically, but withdrawing every single day, you know,
Right.
and it's true. Like the fees on Harmony are so low, it wouldn't matter if I pulled out 0.28 of a joule, but like put in perspective right now. And I did withdraw earlier today, but that's only like $2.42. That's really
Right.
not worth my time. Now, if it got to like 20 bucks, so like 2.30 joule, sure, I'll pull it out, you know?
Okay. All right.
But that's just me if you're having like a smaller amount. And that's why I in my personal opinion, like I would say at minimum, if you're going to invest in this in the farms, just try and do like 500 bucks if you can. Or if you're just like, hey, I don't want to do the whole 500 bucks in the farm thing, that's fine. Just, you know, buy whatever amount of jewel you can or you're comfortable doing, and just put it in here and earn that 20%. You know,
Yeah,
so this is actually.
I did 10 times that 500 bucks at the farm. So
Oh, did you?
yeah,
Hey, you can always pull it out of the farm if you wanted
yeah.
to. Um,
I think I'll pull some out, and well, I'm definitely going to put some in the teller now for sure.
yeah. Oh, yeah. You're gonna want to.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. I highly recommend doing it because you're not really losing. You know, as long as you're not like completely selling your jewel or whatever, which you're not going to do in your case. You're instead reallocating. And again, don't
Mhm.
remove everything from the farm, in my opinion, because you're earning
Yeah.
APR on it. So why not?
Right.
You know.
Right.
But I would say like if you, the more money you have in the teller, the higher your airdrop you're gonna get, right? The bigger the airdrop. And again,
Yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
you don't have to do the multiple wallets thing. I'm a big skeptic. I own multiple wallets just in general because I do a lot of degen crap. So you know, like if you're like a one wallet, keep it simple kind of guy, do that. It actually makes it way easier for tax purposes. My tax person hates me right now. So again, not financial advice, not tax advice, but you know, still. So yeah, this is what I recommend. Like, you know, and again, if you're someone who already got into the pools and you're just like earning, you know, this crap, or sorry, not crap, these jewel tokens here, you know, just claim it when it's a big amount and you could funnel it back into the bank. But again, if you're not in, or if you're like Voltaire and you're wanting to like take a certain portion of your farm, which again, I don't recommend it for most people, but in Voltaire's case, he's pretty cash heavy from the sounds of things, into the LP. So I do recommend in his case, dump that sucker, you know, into the teller. They're going to be doing more snapshots too. Leave it in there for a while. Don't just do it till February 14th. And I'll get into that reason why in a sec here on the Discord. But before that, is there anything else you wanted to kind of go over on this Voltaire?
No, but we can get into the avalanche stuff later on, maybe. So maybe
Cool.
about the airdrop. But yeah, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's just perfect. Is this the one? Nope, this isn't it. Nope, this isn't it either. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not on either of them, so now you get to see all this riffraff. Okay. Yeah, so let's go to the. I'm in so many Discords. This is probably not even that many for most people, but I'm in a lot of them. Okay, so this was posted a little bit of, this is on announcements. So, I highly recommend you go on DeFi Kingdoms. So type in Jewel and CoinGecko and then go to their Discord. Get on the Discord. Even if you hate Discord, I personally do. It's honestly where all the alpha is. It's where you'll get the most recent up-to-date information on things that are going down within the game, the ecosystem.
I hate it too, but you're right.
Yeah, man. Oh, come on, where the hell is it? Man, I thought I had this pulled up in advance.
Did you
to
get
save us some
any
time.
rare UFC strike drops or just the regular ones?
I just got the regular ones, which is
Same.
fine. It was
Yeah,
free
same
at
here.
least, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Perfect.
Mhm.
So this is what I'm reading right here. This was posted on January 27th, 2022. I was already in on DeFi Kingdoms around this time anyways. So at first I wasn't like too concerned, but this is super interesting. So I'm going to read the whole thing, even though we all can read,
Mhm.
just because I'll talk kind of like what I did with the Harry video about what this
Yeah.
really means. Even though this is pretty straightforward. So it says, we just launched land on beta last night. So this is when they only had it available on beta. That means on this game, which this isn't the beta version. Hold on. It didn't show these numbers, these plots of land. It wasn't actually available yet. This is on the 27th. So anyways, it says, along with the airdrops for the lucky 51 winners of the land snapshot. So that's actually how they got it. I forgot to mention. People
Nice.
got it snapshotted. I take it back. And then we are working hard on the land auction. So I'm sure the land auction has already been done and people have already started putting it up for sale and stuff. But this is another reason why I'm so bullish on these airdrops. And I'm recommending people try and take advantage of it now. And it is almost ready to go. In the meantime, we've decided to give our newer players, this is what's really nice of them, newer players a chance to earn some land as well. Like I said, they're really good to their community for being so busy with the development of their game, because even the Harmony 1 game isn't complete. Like, removing the Avalanche game aside, the Harmony 1 game has still so much to be developed.
Mhm.
So it says the airdrop for Gen Zeros for heroes, for the first heroes to hit level 10 was a huge success. Doesn't really apply to us because we're not gamers. Number one, we want to include more people who have higher level heroes in the airdrop. Okay, that's not important for us. I think it's this one. Number two, we also want to give new players a chance to win some things. So we've decided to bring back the hero summoning raffle. All new heroes summoned between January 20th, 2022 and February 14, 2022 will be entered into a raffle to win one of 5 lands. Okay, that's something that's still going on. So if you're wanting to buy some cheap or wanting to summon some cheap heroes or whatever, I don't recommend this. It's kind of more of the gaming thing. But this is something interesting if you want to potentially win one of 5 lands, which, to be honest, to me, this wouldn't be worth it if you aren't already like invested in wanting to play the game.
No.
Because that's a 1 in 5 out of how many people are probably doing this,
Yeah. Isn't a hero like $400 or something?
Yeah, let's actually go into that. Let's find out, because I don't remember the price.
No, because I've seen people complaining about that it's too expensive for the new player to get in and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it keeps going down in price with yeah, so it's like $329.
Yeah.
It used to be so much more, Jewel. Like, it's gone down over time. So that's good to know. But
yeah. So it's like it's like a $500 lottery or whatever it is, a lottery ticket to get one of those land slots.
Yeah, exactly. And that's why I
percentage.
said it's not worth it for most people, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So number 3, finally, this is important. Finally, we are bringing back the secret snapshot airdrops for, guess what? X Jewel holders, not anything else, just X Jewel holders. This is on the 27th. We will be taking 7 secret snapshots every few days between February 1st and February 20th. So actually I lied. I got mixed up with this date for some reason. So you have till the 21st, guys. That's plenty of time.
Yeah.
You know, actually, this makes me even more bullish because I got those dates mixed up. So I'm probably gonna dump some more money in here. Oh my God.
I'm
gonna go broke one day.
I'm gonna empty that LP.
Yeah. So, oh man. Yeah, I mean, in your case, I would not throw more money in. I would just, take advantage of that LP. Okay. And yes, anyways, February 21st, 2022, to award X Jewel holders with items, equipment, and more. Right? The items and equipment, it is what it is. We don't really care, right? But maybe you can sell those. Maybe there's some lucrative turnaround potentially. We don't know. Anyways, it says prizes will be announced after the snapshots are taken and will range in how many items are awarded based on how many X Jewels are held. This is super important, right? And then it says to clarify, number 2, whoever owns the heroes at the end of the snapshot are the ones who get the entries. So this is super important too. I can't remember where else it is, man. But I was reading something on this. Man, this is actually isn't the post that I just wanted to read either. But basically, this like being in the bank qualifies you for the airdrop. Yeah, if you got good assets, just huddle. Exactly. It qualifies you for Jewel. There's actually a really good YouTube channel I recommend. What's this guy's name? One sec.
With the Latin guy, he does a lot of videos on it.
Oh, you're talking about Alex?
Yeah,
So I do like Alex a lot. So Alex Montanan.
I think that's him. Yeah,
But
good videos.
yeah, he has great videos. Honestly, he's number one person I watch first. But I like it because he's a simple jack, kind of like us.
Like me, but yeah, yes,
man. Hey, you know, I say a lot of things because I understand it now, but it took like years to get here.
Yeah, I get it.
But there's actually a guy that I learned about through him, who's really good to watch. Let me open up another. Let me try and see if I can find it real quick. File, new window. Okay. Can you guys see the YouTube screen or no?
No.
Okay, cool.
Well, you're doing that. Yeah, I'm holding the same things that are not doing so good for me. Soul Dot, KSM, no Carrera, fortunately.
No bueno. No bueno, man.
All right, we might have to talk about what I'm going to do with that stuff.
Yeah, we can do it in the Q&A if you want.
Yeah.
That way we don't have to. But anyways, so this is the guy. It's called Zeponomics. I actually post the link in the chat here. You guys want to check out this video, but he goes into basically. So this obviously this video is in January 24th, but this still applies. But he kind of goes into basically like the whole expansion. It's a very technical video though, so keep that in mind, guys. So if you're not wanting to watch a technical video, oh shoot, hold on real quick. Let me try and find this guy. But the other guy who we were talking about earlier is also really good. Alex Montanan. I thought I knew how to spell it because I'm also Hispanic, but guess I don't know my people.
No. Come on, man.
Oh man.
Get with La Raza. What are you doing?
Right. Okay. That second video is Alex Monathon.
Okay.
Something like that. So that's actually his most recent video. The problem was they never went 2x, but close. So I decided not to. Oh, I see what you're saying. Got it. Yes. So that second video is the most like the best strategy.
We can't see your YouTube, by the way. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Sweet. Thank you for letting me know. I thought I had it up here. So
yeah, that's him. There you go.
Yeah, this video. So it's called the best strategy to earn Jewel in DeFi Kingdoms. I actually watched like not on this. I have so many different web browsers, so I don't really watch too much in this one, but this is actually his most recent video, and he talks about exactly what I was mentioning about putting the X Jewel into the bank, or putting Jewel into the bank to getting X Jewel in order to qualify. So he kind of goes into that more details, and I think what it was is this is another thing you guys should do. Go on Twitter. Let's go Samit. Here it is. So this guy's really good. Okay. So this guy takes part in, his name's Samich Punch. He takes part in all the AMAs on DeFi Kingdoms like Discord. And what he does is he like writes, he takes heavy notes and stuff. And I believe he also asks really solid questions. So he's basically like an I mean, I hate using this term, but like an influencer for them, but more so because he's genuinely interested in, like, he really loves this game. Like, as you can see, this side is the Serendale, which is the Harmony 1 version of DeFi Kingdoms. And on this side is Crystal Vale, which is the Avalanche side of DeFi Kingdoms. So he says right here, he's like Jewel and Crystal. It says trusted source of DeFi Kingdoms content and alpha. So I believe it's here. So I think it was on an AMA actually. So it wasn't even on the announcements, unfortunately. Okay, yeah, here it is. Let's go down. Nope, I lied. That's a different article. Strategy. Oh, here. I think here. Nope. Wow. Struggling here. Which one is it? See, this is why I should have came prepared, guys. I think this is the one 3 days ago. Okay. You may have seen a recent updates. You get, for example, if you click on, no, that's not what I'm looking for. Well, if I don't find it, guys, I don't find it. But
Oh, what was the gist of it?
basically that it was the breakdown of how much like what you're going to qualify for based on what you stake in what you liquid stake in the bank. I can't remember where it was, but I know for sure Alex mentions it in that second video. So highly recommend reading that. Unfortunately, I didn't prepare as much as I thought I did and don't have access to that specific documentation. I don't like to just speak out of my butt. But
well, hey, listen, you already helped me. I didn't know that you could still qualify. So if you're good till the 21st, you still have time. It adds more incentive to get into this thing.
Yeah, I agree. Man, I really want to find it now. Oh well, I'm not going to try and waste our whole time here trying to find it, but basically, yeah. So that's kind of the gist of this. I guess what we could do. Did you want me to talk a little bit more detail about like the Avalanche side of things?
Yeah. So, well, yeah, I would really like that. Actually, I gotta tell you, I have never used Avalanche. I have no Avalanche, obviously. So I don't know what you'd have to do. I guess just add the network, or
Oh yeah, cool. So let's see. How about this? You guys can't see my screen right now, huh?
No.
Or you guys can't see my new browser?
I still see the DeFi Kingdoms one up. You have the official white paper is what we're seeing now.
Okay.
Yeah.
One sec. No, this is not what I want. Where the heck is it? Okay. Fun. Okay, so let's do this. Here's what I recommend doing for anyone. Go to beefy.finance, this link right here. When you do this, you click launch app. You can exit out of the previous one. When you're on here, what you'll probably see is none of this stuff right here. So you won't see this, you won't see this. You'll just probably see something here and it's going to say switch to BSC network. Okay. Here, let me connect my wallet real quick. Oh, frick. One sec. I just updated my browser, so
yeah,
got to re-enter a password. Okay, hopefully I do this right. This will be my first time. Oh, damn it. I don't even know if I wrote down this password right. Good thing I don't have anything in here.
Oh, that's good.
Ta-da. Okay. Okay. I'm not sure if it'll show my wallet. It probably won't, but that's okay. Okay, so yeah, you can click on your MetaMask, do the whole connect thing. You guys are probably not going to see this, right? You don't
I
see
can
my
see
wallet.
this. I
Can
can
you see my
see
wallet?
0 Phantom, 0 Unite, it says, right?
Oh, perfect, perfect. Okay, cool. So you click connect. So this is actually how it's going to show for you guys. It's going to show like switch to BSC network. You're going to have to click that even if you don't ever plan on using Binance Smart Chain. When you do that, you're going to go where it says select network. You're going to click right here. And then you can just click Avalanche. When you click switch to Avalanche, for you, it won't say switch net, or I mean, maybe it will say switch network, but it'll basically say like add network,
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll switch to it. So in my case, and then it'll pop up like this after you do the whole process. And this is also a great website. So like, even if you don't use Beefy, which I personally don't, if you did want to get like other smart chains, or sorry, blockchains, you can just click it. So you can even do the same thing if you're new to Harmony, don't have it. You can just click on Harmony, switch to Harmony network, and then do that same process too.
Okay, so you do have to add the Avalanche network to your MetaMask. That's the essence of it. Okay.
Yeah, and luckily it is one that it is a network that can be used on the MetaMask wallet, which is super nice because as I'm sure we have all experienced, there are some that require different wallets, and I hate, like I might have many MetaMask wallets, but I hate having to use different applications that aren't MetaMask, just so you guys know.
Yeah.
So one thing I don't like about Solana, but that's another
Phantom.
rant.
I don't even like Terra for that reason.
Yeah, that's a big reason why I haven't really done much with my Luna. And a big reason why I was completely de-risked in that position, so it didn't cost me a single dime. And let the dot hate 3. That's funny. Yeah, okay, so let's go back to the docs, the DeFi kingdom. So there's a reason why I pulled this up. Let's see. I think it might, roadmap. That's actually where I wanted to go. So this is super important. So again, this is a game as much as it is also a DeFi platform. So keep that in mind. So you have, the garden, it's showing all these things. And it also showing like community formation, launch bank, gardens and marketplace, Gen 0 heroes. And they actually do update this regularly. So if we've progressed somewhere, it'll let you know. The Scarlet Hearth, blah, blah, blah. Right now it says this, we are here, kingdoms and land. So as you can see, like I mentioned, they did the land airdrop or snapshot already, and people have already gained some land, and they've already launched land auctions. That's what you can find in the castle that we first looked at. And then basically what's on the map is the Crystal Vale launch that still hasn't been completed, but it's being worked on. Also, this is something that I'm waiting for personally, and I'm going to spend a little bit of time on this right now, just because this is super important. But before going into that, this is like, pets, buildings, equipment, and then on also that AVAX side, docks, Gen 0 heroes and portal, tavern. So there's quite a bit still left in the Crystal Vale launch. So it's basically like this game that we currently have is relaunching completely and starting from ground zero.
Seems that way.
Which is an amazing opportunity, Again, this is why I'm bullish on it. If honestly, here's the thing. I would still be bullish on DeFi Kingdoms if they weren't launching on Avalanche, but I would be less bullish. Does that make sense?
Yes.
This is the only reason that makes it worth an investment to me. Like what they have going on, the 285%, yes, I like it. It's pretty safe. They have a smart system in place that keeps people there, or at least keeps money incentivized to stay there. But as someone who's not like into the whole gaming side of things, it's not really like the biggest thing to draw my attention, right? But the reason I got even more bullish on this, because originally I put a very I think I put like 0.5% of my portfolio in here. It's significantly grown since. I think I'm like at a 10 across all my wallets, probably at like a 9 to 10% of my portfolio in here.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So and I don't recommend that. Like I have a problem. I've talked with I've talked with JF about this. He's not on here right now, but
right.
So yeah. I need to narrow that down. But to be fair, like I'm not
You're
so
winning,
spread
so it's
thin.
okay. So
For now. I'm
right,
not
yeah,
trying to
yeah,
push my luck.
yeah, yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah. So basically, this is kind of what we have. Like aside from the Serendale side of things, so PVE is going to be something player versus environment, which that's huge for video games. But then this is super interesting too, player versus player. Not sure how that's going to work out, but I have an idea that maybe there's going to be potentially like, oh, you can steal tokens from someone that you beat up.
So yeah, there's this reminds me of a game. There was a browser game I used to play several
Yeah.
years ago called Repopolis or something. I don't know. It wasn't
Okay.
super, but it was farming. You had islands and you had to have a quarry and you had to have all that. And
Oh,
you would build ships, you would build soldiers, and guess what you would do? You'd go attack another person's land or
steal the
whatever it was,
resources.
and they'd have a defense up, and then you'd fight, and then if you either defended it and took some of what they brought, or you won and you took their stuff, or yeah. So I don't know if it's going to get that developed, but it
Yeah.
seems like it.
I have no idea, but to be honest, if they like knowing this stuff that they're doing, pets are super important in games. Like I used to be like when I was growing up as a kid, all I did was play PC games.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just that kid who ate food, sat on the computer, and when it wasn't school, I would be on there 24/7. So like all these features that they're mentioning, it reminds me of like the early like RuneScape days or like other browser-based games like what you're talking about, Voltaire.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Crystal Veil a bit because that's super important. So it hasn't officially launched yet. It's still in the works, still in development. It's still in development, right? Basically, as you can see, I brought up the docs earlier. The docs is one of the ways that you're going to be bridging your assets from Serendale or DeFi Kingdom's land in Harmony over to Crystal Veil, DeFi Kingdom's land in Avalanche. What I'm waiting for is not only for the launch, which is a reason why I'm trying to qualify for the airdrop, but I'm also waiting for the banks, gardens, and marketplace to open up. As we are investors, right? We're not gamers here. Maybe some people who are watching this are. I'm not.
No.
Not anymore. It's been way behind me. But as investors, this is currently how we're making money on Harmony's version of DeFi Kingdoms, or Serendale, as it's called. So in Crystal Veil, we want this to launch. And here's my prediction. 1,000% APR is probably going to be a common thing within the gardens.
GTFO.
Yeah, that's my assumption, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would say there's a possibility it could be a little higher. And there's also a possibility it could be a little lower. But I don't think it's going to be less, like this is my assumption right here, again, speculation. I don't think it'll be less than 600 to 800%.
Interesting.
Why is that? Okay, remember I told you guys, I've been following DeFi Kingdoms, specifically when it was only Serendale, when it was only Harmony 1, since its inception. What drew my attention to it is, you all know, I'm a flippin' degen. 1,000% APR was what they were offering at the time on Harmony 1, okay? This is how they got so much attraction, so much attention on their blockchain, which let's pull up DeFi Llama real quick, because this is important. Let's click Harmony. What does this say for dominance? 56% of the dominance for total value locked, which is 1.9 billion or 1.09 billion. It's not a lot. That's not a lot in terms of total value locked, but for this chain, 56% of that total value locked is DeFi Kingdoms. Okay. Now put in perspective, let's go to Phantom, right? 8.52 billion, still not a crazy amount, but multi-chain is its dominance, which is, a bridge, and multi-chain is used throughout all these different chains. Okay. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay.
Yeah.
I bring that up, all this to say, I think the 1,000 APRs are going to be what it's going to do to draw even more attention. I say this all the time. A lot of us here know about DeFi Kingdoms already, but DeFi Kingdoms is really not that well known. still. Number one reason, it's on Harmony. A lot of people who don't like Harmony will never get to Harmony even to play this game. What does that tell me? It puts people like us at an advantage, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we're the ones who are acting now versus later. Now, some people are smart money, in my opinion, and they're doing what we're doing. You know, they're like, hey, I don't really care for Harmony One as much, which I personally don't. But I'm going to profit off of it while it's here, qualify for the airdrop, which a lot of people did in the mid to like late January period, and they're currently doing now. And I'm going to prepare at all costs for the Crystal Veil launch. I'm telling you now, you're hearing this from me now. I have a feeling, okay, a gut feeling. I have an assumption based on a lot of information I already knew from its first initial launch on Harmony, but also based on what I shared with you guys earlier about Avalanche. Here's the alpha, okay? It's going to have an immensely dramatic, huge, exponential difference of adopted users because of Avalanche.
Yeah.
A lot of these rug pull fanboys, a lot of the Avalanche fanboys are going to hop on here. Let's hop real quick on CoinGecko. Why do I say this? We all know Avalanche is ranked number 10 in market cap. It's currently $89, right? What's its market cap? It's 21 billion, I believe. Yeah, yep, 21.9 billion, right? Meanwhile, Harmony, oh, there it is. It's number 62. It's 20 cents, which that's appetizing to normies or people who want, you know, to have all these crazy amount of tokens, but it's only 2.4 billion market cap. Okay. So from 2.4, where is it? To 21.9. Put that in perspective. Marketcap.com. This is a great tool I use. So I'm not using this to say that this is what Harmony is going to get to, by the way. This is just to put it in perspective. Oh my gosh, are you freaking kidding me here? There it is. Right? Oops, it's exit, that's ETH compared to Avalanche, right? Harmony would need to do an 8.99x. Is it possible? Sure, if they got stuff together. In order for it to be the same market cap as AVAX currently. That would cause it to go from 20 cents to $1.87. Now, I'm not going to be the one to tell you, hey, abandon ship of Harmony. This isn't FUD. This isn't to scare you or whatever, or anything like that. Like, no, I'm going to keep some Harmony tokens, of course. No, I'm going to still be playing around with my with DeFi Kingdoms on Harmony. You know, because there's potential that I don't think it's going to do 8.9x personally, but there's potential that it can still grow and scale. You know, but
will the AVAX game kill some of the action on the Harmony chain?
Well, here's the thing. It's tricky, right?
The new action, the people who are divested or invested into it might just the actual game players, but yeah.
Well, that's what makes it tricky, because right now, most of the people who are in the game, DeFi Kingdoms, are either people who are already heavily invested in Harmony, right? Or they're people like us who are like, hey, I'm just playing around with it for now. The question is, we don't know what percentage of people that is, but I have it on pretty good authority that here's the thing. Going back to the information that I know, this is the alpha. Jewel token is going to have utility in Crystal Veil. So there's going to be Jewel and Crystal token. And my assumption is there's going to be a Jewel and Crystal token LP. So in that sense, yes, you're technically bridging over your Jewel asset over to Avalanche, right? But at the same time, you can't fully drop down the price. Bridging doesn't affect, doesn't affect the price in a negative way, because you're still having the asset. You're just having the synthetic version of the asset on the Avalanche platform. So this is actually very bullish for Harmony, because this means that all the Avalanche users who find out about this and didn't know about this, they're going to have to purchase Jewel, which on Avalanche, right? If they wanted to participate in that, or if they wanted to get, and I'm sure the DeFi Kingdoms team, this potential information, this is speculation right here, but I'm sure the DeFi Kingdoms team is going to create an incentive of why you want to do cross-chain gaming, You know, so like basically,
Yeah.
why if you're in Crystal Vale, and why would you go to Serendale? Well, maybe there's like a special incentive where like, hey, if you bring your crystal tokens over to, and this is where this is speculation right here. I haven't heard this at all, period. But let's just talk about the banks, gardens, and marketplace in Serendale. What if, as vice versa, at first they're going to bring crypto tokens over to here and they're going to incentivize you as a player, as a finance person, you know? This is bad. That part's my assumption. I'm not saying that's fact. I'm more confident in you're going to bring your jewel token over and, you know, stake it alongside crystal.
They're very protective of that jewel token, so that would make the most sense, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. And the thing is, why would, you know, like, again, Harmony isn't the best thing ever in terms of like layer one blockchain, but this is where they built all of their stuff. It would be foolish of them from a development standpoint, from a time standpoint, but also from a financial standpoint to abandon their ship here. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that, I mean, if it flops, then they probably will be like, hey, let's just shut down this side and move to here. That's possible too, which is again, why there's high risk with this, because let's go here, right? Harmony is 65, but Jewel is not even in the top 100. It's getting close though. It used to be this is actually pretty crazy to see 147. Holy crap. So you guys don't know this, but it used to be like in the 300-400 range. So pretty crazy. But anyways, that's what I wanted to highlight. So it's not even in the top 100 right now. So that means that there's still quite a few numbers that it can move up, you know, in terms of like the token itself appreciating.
Yeah.
Now, again, I will say this. I do think that Jewel is not going to be able to fully compete with Crystal, you know. I do think the Avalanche side is going to be the one that's used the most. It's going to be more favorable. But I'll also say this. Avalanche is one of my least favorite layer ones to play with. I would choose Harmony any day over Avalanche. And I've recently been playing more and more with Avalanche. In my last video that I did with you guys, I mentioned that I've been looking to acquire more of a position in Avalanche. The only reason I'm doing that is simply because of this game. If it wasn't for the game, I would not even be messing around with it. Not because there isn't money to be made.
Yeah.
But I've done so many transactions on it in like the past, in the present, and I probably will in the future, thanks to Crystal Vale. And man, it's just so clunky to me. Like it's not that it's like slow, but like transactions just, I always have to add more gas just to make the transactions go at a faster speed. Like Harmony is streamed, like again, Harmony has less users, keep that in mind too. But Avalanche has a very cool technology where they like have 3 separate chains to like divvy up the payload. But yeah.
Interesting. So you're thinking to invest in both of them initially.
Yeah, I for sure. So like, I mean, I'm already invested in Serendale. So for me, once Crystal Vale launches, I won't invest additionally into here. I'll be more focused on this just because, again, you know, I think it was the late Steve Jobs who said, you know, to figure out what your future looks like, you got to connect the dots backwards, right? And, you know, to figure out the future of Crystal Vale, I'm going to connect the dots backwards of what Serendale has done so far. You know, and kind of go through like look, Gen Zero Heroes, community formation, all these things. Now they already have the community, they already have some of this stuff, but like Launch Bank, Gardens, and Marketplace. Look what's next. Launch Bank, Gardens, and Marketplace. You know, and then Gen Zero Heroes and blah blah blah.
It's an interesting time for them to be popping up a new essentially game.
Why do you say that?
Because they're still balls deep in development on the original, right?
Oh, yes. Yeah, they are, you know, and
but maybe that means they feel like they've mastered the initial stuff so they can go ahead and launch on another one, I suppose.
Yeah, the way I see it is so Serendale will launch all these things before Crystal Vale were to ever get any of like all these things right here.
Yeah, I see.
So I think the roadmap for this is launching. Like, I think the only difference is going to be like, you know, building the infrastructure essentially on Crystal Vale, or sorry, on Avalanche. But essentially like the bank, garden, and marketplace, they just really have to duplicate what they've already done here, you know? But like, again, like look at this roadmap, you see how far back this is compared to where we currently are.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
like, let's look at kingdoms and land actually. So where is land? Right here. So like, this is so, and by the time this happens, my speculation is that we'll be right here.
Well, it makes sense, right? They lined it up, but that's not an accident, I would imagine.
It's not, you know, it's strategically planned out. And I think it's because they're saying like, this is kind of like a test net in a weird way. If you guys are familiar with testnet, or if you're not familiar with testnet, basically it means this is where like they're putting everything to test. They're letting users play it. Like it's not beta, but it kind of is beta for this version of the game. Because again, I will say this, because there's bigger TVL, because actually let's look at the TVL Avalanche comparison. So 10 billion. So there's like literally 9.8 some billion more, or maybe not 9.8, but 9.7 billion more than Harmony. Okay. And then what's the dominance? The dominance is Aave. It's only 28%. Going back though. So my point is there's going to be more users here.
Yeah.
Right. But they're smart. They're not gonna rug Serendel. They're gonna slow rug it. and I don't mean rug like they're gonna abandon ship or like they're gonna screw over, but like slowly but surely they're gonna be ruining, or not ruining, but they're gonna draw more users to this. But eventually, again, like, you know, I'm not gonna lie, like they've got a good system going. I was shocked. They've had 285%. I don't know why I keep putting here. I think it's because I see this name here, Bank, Gardens, and Marketplace. But in Serendale, in DeFi Kingdoms, where it's at right now in Harmony, for the banks, the gardens and market, or the gardens in particular, the LP pools have held the 285% pretty well. So I'm really impressed.
That is impressive.
So my assumption is it's going to look very different here. Maybe the LPs aren't going to be like that, but I'm going to assume there's going to be, and here's the other thing too, with the 1,000 APRs, there's going to be a lockup for sure on rewards, because there's DeFi degens like myself, like
You'll pump and
Voltaire.
dumpers.
Yeah.
I'm a wannabe, but yeah.
No, you're in the making. Trust me, spend enough time with me.
I hope.
No, but seriously, because we're the type of people who are like, hey, let's make our exits and let's make an exit, you know? So this is good shield. I actually don't like to do damage to projects like this. It just, unfortunately, we're pretty soon here, Benjamin. There's one other thing I wanted to go over after this, but I got you. So there's one thing, basically, like I don't think I'm a big enough of a whale to impact a game or a project that much, but I do realize like if I'm making crazy exits, I'm for sure gonna
contribute.
I'm gonna contribute for sure. And I know that I'm not the only one, you know?
Yeah.
So but the reality is, man, like at the end of the day, I'm not here for the game like other people will be, you know? So and the truth is, by me doing what I'm doing, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of creating an opportunity for those who came late to the game to, guess what? If they're smart, buy up more of the tokens so they can continue investing into the game, you know, at a cheaper price. So that's a little harsh maybe for people who are gamers, but the reality is, hey, we're in it for the money, you know?
Yeah.
So that's kind of that. Did you have any questions regarding that, Voltaire?
No, I think you laid it out pretty clearly. The most important thing for me was, again, learning how to strategize what I'm going to do with the bank and all that, and the airdrop, and I kind of see where it's going now. Yeah,
I guess I should also talk about that too a little bit here. So I'm going to make a safe assumption and say that Jewel is not going to be able to be purchased here potentially, at least not right off the bat, which is another reason why I'm recommending getting that bank teller, or putting money in the bank, putting Jewel in the bank teller. Another thing is you're going to have to bridge your Jewel, I'm going to safely assume, from the docks over here. So the most important reason why I like the bank over the LP pools right now is the bank doesn't lock up your money as long as you're only doing it through the teller.
Right.
So all your Jewel is going to be liquid. Meanwhile, if you've earned any rewards from the LPs, you're going to have a portion locked. So you won't be able to fully remove. And they did this strategically because these guys are smart, man.
Yeah.
So like my strategy here is like, if you're getting into this, make sure you only focus on the bank, ignore the APR for now. Trust me, I'm assuming you're going to get some juicier APRs here at first. Another thing is start getting prepared, start loading your wallet, your MetaMask wallet with some AVAX. I'm going to also assume that you're probably going to get some crazy APRs for also staking Crystal with AVAX, or maybe Jewel with AVAX on this side.
It's gonna have to be, right?
Yeah, and also you're gonna need AVAX anyways for gas fees.
Yeah.
So now's your time to like start being strategic and start like putting small amounts into it. You don't need to dump a crap ton of money in right now, but let's look at AVAX here.
So you're going to leave it. So then you're going to leave it with the teller, even after the airdrop. You're whatever you have. You're not putting it into the LP farms. Then you're sticking to the bank.
You're talking about after the airdrop. After the airdrop,
Yeah.
I might reevaluate. I
Okay.
have no idea, just because I don't really know
Okay.
what things are going to look like when that happens.
Sure.
I'm sure there's going to be some kind of information out there. For me, oh shoot, this is 15. I was like, man, why does this chart look so funky? What the heck? What is going on? Oh, this is a crappy chart. Okay. Sorry, I just really want to pull this up because this is important.
Yeah. I want to see it too, actually.
Okay.
Because you're right. This is how you've got to be ready for that.
Yeah. And this is exactly like, this is literally how I think about things all the time. In the Q&A, we can kind of go over some of my degen plays that I've been doing lately. And like, this is basically the approach I'm telling you right now. This is how I pre-plan for any of my degen plays. This isn't as degen, in my opinion. This is like I would say in terms of like a scale of low degen to like high degen, I would say this is maybe like in between a low and a medium,
Okay. So like a 4?
Yeah, maybe like a 3.5, a 4,
Okay,
or maybe a 4.2. No rookie scores here. But yeah, so like something to keep in mind too is like ideally $61 would have been a great time to start accumulating AVAX. And
Sure.
This is January 22nd, 23rd of 2022. So if you were already like following the project like I was, you would have already started accumulating some AVAX, which I have, not on this wallet, but in one of my other wallets. And so, like right now I'm up, I have more tokens and it's also worth more, To be honest though, I don't really care so much about AVAX, but my plan is like, now that it's increased in value, I can dump that immediately into Crystal Veil, and that was my game plan from the start. So it's like being smart. Like I bought the dip and I didn't go all in, I bought a small amount because it looked like at the time this was just the last candle. And I was like, hey, I don't know if it's going to keep going down.
Yeah.
But now it's been going up, and so like what I'd recommend is pay close attention to this. You don't have to. It's still relatively low, in terms of like its all-time high. I'm not saying like it's low as in like buy now. No, I would say like maybe wait for a pullback, at least something that shows like it's doing, even if it's just a small dip like this or a small dip like over here. But right now it's 60 of its current price. It's like roughly 62% from its all-time high, So that just tells you it's, let me make sure I don't want to give a wrong number. So it tells you right now it's on discount for 38%,
Yeah.
So it's like you can maybe put in a small, maybe like 20% of the money you set aside for accumulating some AVAX. And I'm not telling you to go all, like, don't get a big position of AVAX for this. That could backfire on you because for all I know, I mean, maybe not backfire, that's wrong terminology, but for all I know, it might be more worth your, like, if again, let me back up. This is a strategy only if you're already in DeFi kingdoms. If you're not in DeFi kingdoms, maybe like accumulate a small amount, but I wouldn't do that till after you've gotten your comfortable amount. And again, DCA into Jewel if possible, but like DCA into Jewel and stake it in the bank. So that's basically the strategy. So buy Harmony One, send it to your MetaMask, go on DeFi Kingdoms. Here, I'll just do this for the sake of it.
Go to the teller, not the manager.
Yeah, go to the teller, not the manager. I want to show it because I know some people are visual like me. Yeah, so you know, create it. You're gonna have to create an account. It's super simple. You're just basically connecting your MetaMask wallet and giving your character a name. This is what's gonna happen. You're gonna come here. You're gonna go to Marketplace once you've gotten your Harmony One tokens to your MetaMask. Go to Trader, and you guys can slow down this video or watch it. So I'm gonna go pretty fast here. You're gonna type, you know, make sure you leave, you know, I like to leave 20 to 31 tokens in here just for safety's sake, or like a little bit of buffer. But yeah, I mean, whatever the number is, do 50-50 split. Make sure you leave some in there, account for that. Bam, once you get that, create a pool, enter in the amount, make sure to select Jewel. Bam. Once you make sure you click max on Jewel, so that way you don't zero out your Harmony One. Enter. Or you're gonna have to probably approve and then supply. From there, you got your tokens. Oh, really cool about Harmony One, actually, when you're doing this process, it'll let you add the LP token to your MetaMask wallet, which is super nice. Let's see, do I have
you put the LP token with the teller, not Jewel?
Oh, sorry. My bad. Good thing you reminded me. That would have been bad. That's if you want it. That's if you want to do the garden.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. That's what okay. All right.
But I don't recommend that if you want to qualify for the airdrop and you're watching this within a timely manner. If you're watching this for the airdrop, I would say like do almost all but like 20 or 30 of your one. Swap it. It's actually easier. Click on bank. After you click on the menu, go to teller, deposit, click max, approve, and then bam, deposit. I don't have any right now. And then you're good to go.
Yeah.
But again, the LP thing is if you did want to take part in the LP farm, which is in the garden section. I'll just run through that real quick.
Which, if you want to do that, which I still think it's a good farm. The impermanent loss on it seems pretty good if you're doing the one Jewel thing.
Yeah.
And it's 283%. So yeah, but I like the idea of the teller with the airdrops. That certainly behooves you to get free airdrop, free things. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, you could probably sell in the aftermarket as well. But yeah, that's what I would do with that. And then I'm going to talk about this again just because. Also on Harmony One is, and this is important because this is actually super relevant. So remember, we're having DeFi Kingdoms. It launched. We know what it did. We know how successful it was. But there's this app called Tranquil Finance. Let me see if I can actually, let me go to CoinGecko because I always screw this up. So this is actually very different from DeFi Kingdoms in some aspect, but Tranquil Finance is, it's a DeFi, it's a lending, it's a money market, sorry. It's a money market borrow and lending platform, okay? I'm gonna connect my wallet real quick. So, you know, you supply, so you deposit, you get some supply APY, reward APY, and then you can also borrow. I don't recommend, I mean, you could supply and earn some APY, but don't borrow.
There are some, because you turned me on to this. I started doing some YouTube video research. There are some super degen things you can do with those two columns right there.
You will get wrecked.
I didn't touch it, but yeah.
Don't get me wrong. Like I know people who like, it's called the delta neutral strategy. I'm not gonna go too much details into that.
No,
there's a lot of people who do that. But basically here, what you would do, sorry, let me back up. I'm not gonna go into that detail too much. You guys can research this yourself because I want to go into Q&A in a sec here with some of the guys who've been waiting. But Tranquil Finance, look into it. This is what it's starting out as. Now, this is what it's becoming. If this loads. DeFira or DeFira. I have no idea how you pronounce it. It's coming soon. DeFira, yeah.
Whatever.
DeFira. I don't know. Basically, I'm going to sum up everything that's written here. This is DeFi Kingdom's biggest competitor. And what do you know? Tranquil Finance is on Harmony blockchain.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know? DeFira, DeFira, is also on Harmony blockchain. And you can find all the information right here on Tranquil Finance's Medium. They talk about their ambitious roadmap for 2022. And what do they say? DeFi Metaverse. They strategically worded this. DeFi Metaverse game world. They write the whole roadmap and everything. Basically, they talk about how they're going to create a fork. They already have a fork by the same team on Kronos chain, so Crypto.com's chain called Mimus Finance, or Mimus, however you pronounce it. But basically, they're creating a cross-chain game. It's legitimately just like DeFi Kingdoms. You're just early on. It's not even officially launched yet. It's still in the build-up phase. If you want to partake in it, just again, I'm not going to go over this too much because I've talked about this before. If you want to partake in this, you could click on Trank. And after you've acquired, you can go on DeFi Kingdoms, actually go to the marketplace and then swap some of your one tokens for Trank. That's the easiest way I found to get this. There might be another way, but basically, once you have Trank tokens, you click on Trank. You'll notice right here, what does it say? As a next step, the protocol will live as an essential part of the DeFira ecosystem in game world. You can earn the game's governance token, FIRA, by locking and staking Trank. So that's the only side effect. This is actually have not entered into this. Voltaire and I have been discussing this individually. And my biggest hesitation is you have to actually lock your tokens. So this is where you would do it right here. As you can see,
I entered into it.
Hey, good for you. I'm still a little bit like, man, should I do it? I'm probably going to end up doing it. I just need to figure out, I just need to not ape in. That's the problem.
Yeah, I did an ape in. I put a small allocation.
There you go. But basically this is a gamble, guys. So this is an out. Tranquil's out. I'm going to bank that because Tranquil is already out. Tranquil's been a very successful DeFi app on Harmony. DeFira is probably going to be successful. They basically have to copy. They're basically probably going to copy and paste for the most part DeFi Kingdoms. There's a little bit different nuances, but you have to lock your tokens. If for some reason you wanted to early unstake, you can. But keep in mind your total amount will be slashed. So if you pull out early, not only will your rewards be cut, but to my knowledge, also your tokens that you originally put in will be cut.
Anyway, so, if you're getting in this is a long-term lottery ticket, so you're not going to pull them out for 6 months anyway. You're banking on the development of this game later on.
Yep. So, but something to keep in mind though is the game plan is I believe that Q1 2022.
Golly.
That's at least brief memory. I could be wrong about that. There's a lot of things in the roadmap, but check that out. Any last things I should discuss or that you would want to know, Voltaire?
No, I think we got it. I think that's a good intro to how to play this thing.
Cool. Awesome. Well, before I end this recording here, I just wanted to thank everybody for watching. I haven't really been doing that in the previous recordings, but thank everybody who's here live. Thank you for everybody who's watching. Voltaire, thank you for giving me the idea to do this.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, give me a little bit of time, but feel free to either message me, preferably in the group chat, the Logical Crypto group chat, or you can message me directly one-on-one. I don't really prefer the one-on-one too much unless I specifically have told you to hit me up, but I'll try to do my best. So thanks, guys.